And we're back. This is Exiles TV, Hour 2. Just to bring you up to date, latest figures, 24,523 coronavirus cases diagnosed, 1,794 people currently in hospitals with coronavirus, and 1,328 deaths in Louisiana are being attributed to being not of, but with coronavirus.
And again, the good news in all that is the curve is flattening, and we have fewer people on respirators, at least in the state of Louisiana, by 50 from Sunday's figures over yesterday's figures. We won't have today's figures until noon. So,
by the way, how did you come through the great storm scare Sunday night?
You know, this is really getting to be a thing with me. And I mean, no respect to our buddy Jay, or to Dr. Steve, or to Dr. Josh, or to
Diane
Matt
Deaton.
Callahan, or Diane Deaton. You guys got to give us a break. Every time the National Weather Service says there is an enhanced risk for severe weather on Saturday, you start the previous Sunday. This is going to be a severe weather alert action day. Hide the children. Have sex now. You won't be able to on Sunday. You know, put your car under concrete. There's going to be million-pound hail the size of Volkswagens.
It's been a little alarmist lately.
And the last 3 times, by the way, it hasn't happened.
The big storms that were supposed to come through Sunday, we got some thunder, and it was that kind of rolling, I'm not really serious thunder. You know what I mean? Got a few flashes of lightning and one dead branch about that big around came out of one of my oak trees in the front yard.
Well, here's the deal. National Weather Service is pushing this thing on to all the other weather forecasters, and they're using all kinds of models. And if there's one thing we know in Louisiana, models don't work.
Mm-hmm. We've learned that from a lot of things. Weather models often are wrong. Sometimes virus models are not correct.
And again, the consultants are getting involved here. Mm-hmm. You know, the people that come in and say, you need to part your hair on the other side, and don't wear green ties, and refer to people in government as leaders. That's a pet peeve I hate. They're elected officials. Whether
they're servants.
Whether they're
public
leaders
servants.
or not remains to be seen, okay? Yeah. But the consultants are coming and saying, oh, well, you need to say we're going to have this severe weather action day. And you need to put up the map that you project for Friday on Sunday.
Well, that's so you could say, we were the first. We were the first.
We're the first to be wrong.
Well, they don't talk about that, but when they're right, then you get the promo that says, we were first.
Here's the thing. If you have to talk about it on Sunday, because that's when National Weather Service makes their prognostication, say, look, we may be in for some severe weather at the end of the week. Mm-hmm. As we get a little closer, we'll tell you more. But I mean, they're clicking it, got it on the screen. Like if we had the green screen here, it'd be like damaging winds, tornadoes, large hail. They're putting this up 7 days in advance.
Well, I think that's a little alarmist. We have the benefit of being close to the Gulf, and these last 3 serious weather systems have pushed off to the north of us because of the Gulf effect. You know, that we get winds coming in off the Gulf, and they tend to diminish some of these storms sometimes, unless the storms are coming in off the Gulf themselves. But when they roll in from Texas, they tend to get pushed off to the north a little bit.
But they would go absolutely crazy if one of their chief investigative reporters said on Sunday, this coming Friday, the governor's going to have a press conference. He looked seriously into the monitor.
Friday is an action day.
He's actually making notes, and he's using a pen. And it's got black ink. This is a pant load. Tell us we may have some severe weather at the end of the week, and then start talking to us about Thursday.
Now, here, I want to clarify something Bill said earlier. The word is consultants. If you don't think that the weather reporting has been accurate lately, don't blame your local weather guys. They're just doing a job. And in most cases, a TV station has a consultant that's basically calling the shots and telling them what to do, sometimes against their better judgment.
We had a consultant once, remember?
Yeah, we had a consultant once.
Yeah, we had a consultant.
In the radio game, we on the streets tend to call them insultants.
Yes.
They come in and they just piss everybody off and make things worse. And
why you all messing around doing things for this little women's clinic? That was
Consultants
Women's
exist for
Hospital,
this
by the
reason.
way, the largest independent female hospital in the world. Yeah.
People in management hire consultants because then if things go pear-shaped, then they can say it wasn't us, it was the consultant.
Oh yeah.
Blame that SOB. And then you just bring in another consultant.
Channel 2 had a consultant that rode them from some of the best television news ratings in the nation to abject mediocrity, and they kept this guy around for like 12 years while he was doing it.
Now,
Who do you have pictures of?
I'm going to say this real quick before the break. Somebody out there watching is thinking a consultant probably recommended you two get fired. That's not the case in our particular case. We just have always had a rough patch for consultants. I don't like them.
Well, having been a consultant, not a media consultant, but having been a public relations consultant, you know, the shame of it all is these people look at you like doe-eyed children and you're Santa Claus. And they will literally do anything you tell them. And that's very dangerous.
Yep, very dangerous. All right, we're going to talk about mom and pop, those small businesses that have been affected by coronavirus. What is the effect? How many will be back? We're going to talk with Don Starnes after we do this.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. I am Bill Profita. He is Kevin Gallagher.
Guilty.
And if you're wondering, you know, we hear a lot about what's going on in big business. You know, when the price of oil dropped through the floor, which I didn't think was possible yesterday, everybody started talking about ExxonMobil, a big business. You know, local big business. We have
biggest.
Marathon, you know, we have Valero. But small business is the backbone of American business. And they are getting hammered right now. Here to tell us about it is the state director for the National Federation of Independent Business, NFIB, Dawn Starnes. Dawn, good morning to you.
Good morning. Glad to be here with you guys.
I think Kevin asked you the best question. We were off the air, so I'm going to let Kevin ask you again.
Is it dire? Is the situation for small business dire?
Yeah, it's bad. I talk with you guys often, and I'm always talking about how optimistic we are and how small business lately has been out of the roof with optimism. It's been so positive since the Trump administration came in. So many positive things, and record highs of small business optimism, consumer confidence high, all the things. And now it's just totally in the tank. And when you talk about the price of oil, the hard part for Louisiana is that our economy is so tied to that, and so it has a very direct impact on small business in a lot of ways, and especially in certain areas of the state. So many small business owners in our state are work with or spinoffs of service the oil field, service that industry, and so that they're taking a big hit.
Are any regions hit worse? I mean, the oil service industry, which is all local small businesses in the Lafayette to Houma, Morgan City, Thibodaux area, they've been getting hammered for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They've got to be ready to jump off buildings right now.
And they were sort of coming back. There was sort of a feeling of things getting better, and so the fact that they're not just plain out not doing good is going to be very detrimental to those local economies down there.
We know New Orleans is, you can't even talk about it right now, but in terms of the remaining metros, in terms of Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Alexandria, Monroe, Shreveport, are their situations much different? Or are they all in about the same boat right now?
They seem similar, and I'm certainly no expert on this virus, but what I do know is when you continue to see the numbers trend down and we're hitting this peak and we're going in the right direction, that's a very positive sign, and according to the experts, right? And so you have small business owners that are really kind of at that gate, just ready to get out like a horse, and they can't do that without the government helping them out. And so, and to your point, I don't even want to get on a soapbox about New Orleans, but I do just have to say that, it's so frustrating to have the mayor say, oh, well, we're just going to shut down the economy, basically, of New Orleans for the rest of the year.
That's crazy, in my opinion.
And the effect that has not only on New Orleans, but the state. Yeah,
it's dumb.
And I'm hopeful that the governor will step in as needed when the time is right, but hopefully she will come to her senses.
Their mutual party members, will she listen to the governor? If the governor says, LaToya, come on.
I hope. If not, maybe the legislature needs to step in and pull their home rule.
Well, that's another. Usually at this time of year, when we're talking to you, we're talking about NFIB's legislative wish list.
Right.
You don't even get one this year.
Yeah. Well, we still have one. It's still long, and there's still a lot of things.
We wish the legislature would go back into session.
I've never wished so badly that they were in. There are definitely some things that they can do, and we're really excited and looking forward to working with them through this and through the recovery. But I mean, the things that needed to happen before this happened still need to happen. And if there's not a better light shown on what we need to do, centralized sales tax is a great example. I've talked to you guys for how long about this subject. We are, and you have local government saying they've lost so much money because of this, and the state has lost so much money of this. But because of our lack of a centralized sales tax collection, and because of our inability to collect online sales tax that are due, that other people are paying in other states, we are missing out on millions of dollars.
The businesses that are booming right now collect almost no sales tax. Groceries and healthcare.
And that one as well, yes. Such a good point. But yeah, I mean, there's so much that we need to do in reforming our sales tax code, and if we don't do something when they come back into session to address it, we're going to be even further behind.
Well, let's talk for a minute about online merchants, because a lot of people are shifting their buying now more and more to online merchants because of this shelter-at-home order. Now, we're all paying, with most all of these websites now, we're all paying sales tax on our purchases. Is it up to these people to just voluntarily pay the state what they owe? Yes. And do they?
We hope. We certainly hope. We certainly hope that they would be, because that's not a place that a small business owner would be. But, the fact is it is voluntary right now. And our numbers indicate that everyone is not collecting and not remitting at the rate that they should
John Kennedy was crying for this 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
there are some, I don't do much online purchasing. I still like to go and actually hold it in my hand before I plunk my money down. But I do buy online from a couple companies regularly. One is Exiles, where I get electronics, microphones and cables and things like that for our podcast. And the other is Paul Frederick, shirts and things like that. Both of them send me a notice telling me when they have remitted the sales tax to the state of Louisiana.
That's good to know.
That is good to know.
That is good to know. And the ones that are bigger are doing that, because they have the infrastructure too. The small guys are the ones that are not.
But that's not helping East Baton Rouge Parish. It's not helping, Iberville Parish. We've got a lot to talk about in our next segment. We are talking, by the way, with Dawn Starnes, who is the state chapter leader for the National Federation of Independent Business, NFIB, the Backbone of America. Backbone of America's got an elephant standing on it right now. So we're going to get down the road and talk with Dawn a little more after this break. Thanks for joining us on Exiles TV. We'll be back with you in just a matter of moments.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Clarence Bugg Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hey, welcome back. It's Exiles TV, Tuesday morning here, the 21st. And so glad to have you with us. If you're just tuning in, the topic is small business. Really taking it in the shorts here with this stay-at-home order from the governor. There's a spread from COVID-19. Our guest, Dawn Starnes, she is a state director for not only Louisiana but Mississippi as well for the National Federation of Independent Business. Thanks for staying with us.
Thank you.
It occurs to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, that a lot of your members provide services that we all need, and we would love to see those, at least in some limited fashion, get back to work. Is there any encouragement there? Is there any good news there?
No good news yet, but we are hopeful. I think every woman in town needs a hair appointment and
Quite
a
a few
nail
men, too.
appointment, and we were talking about our dry cleaners. You know,
I'm
people.
going to buy a Flowbee.
Yeah.
pretty quick here.
You know, we need a lot of services. Yeah, I mean, dry cleaners, bakers, auto mechanics at full speed. I mean, the list goes on. Those are truly the backbone of our economy. It's what you really need day to day, and it's just kind of frustrating that we're here, but you know, no one, you know, the governor, I will say, has been very positive towards business, I feel like, at this point. So we're hopeful that that will continue. He did provide some leniency in that executive order that really allowed, you know, some wiggle room. You have some retail shops operating. The problem is it comes down to, is it worth their time to be open? And so that's the hard part,
you know,
for small business.
that's an equation that each of them has to make. And I certainly don't want to take anything away from the governor.
Right.
But it is in his interest to get the tax revenue flowing as quickly as possible, because he's got a budget that's got to be either shored up, prepared, et cetera. I mean, it's not in anybody's interest to have these businesses with their doors closed.
No.
But the fact of the matter is when they open, you know, the service-based economy in Baton Rouge, and to a large extent in Lafayette, and New Orleans is still, I can't even talk about New Orleans because that's crazed right now.
Show on its own.
But the thing is, we reopen all the restaurants tomorrow and say, look, we're confident scientifically, not going to be a problem. You don't have to space 8 feet apart. You know, everybody said, who's going to have the money, many of whom are now on their 5th week without a paycheck, to go out to these newly opened restaurants?
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about. You know, you have to have, it has to be a partnership of business and community coming together to get reopened. And so we need folks to get back working, get back open, and then get back to shopping. And not just shopping, but doing things in the economy. You know, I mean, there are plenty of small business owners that are not affected by sales tax because they don't. So it's not, but that doesn't stop the economy from going. They're making money. You know, it's just the economics 101, right? You need people out there running, as the president well said, our economy is not based on everybody staying home. So we have to get going again. And in doing that, we will help small business owners not need to rely on the government for these loans. You know, that's been a frustrating point where we've had a lot of positive response from the people who have actually gotten the loan, which is only 20% of our members telling us they've gotten it. That other 80% is not being serviced by this loan capacity. They're not getting what they need. And there's too much rigidity in the requirements associated with the PPP loan. We're pushing the level at DC to say, look, we've got to get some of this off. We've got to get some things moving to give some more flexibility to small business
There's supposed to be another big bunch of money coming. Is that true?
Supposed to, yeah. So we're hopeful that there will be.
It's a $500 billion is the next discussed package.
Yeah, we need that, right? Is there ever enough though, right? We wouldn't need it if we could get open and get things going again. But look, small business never asks for anything from the government. We don't ask for tax credits. We don't ask for special treatment. We really don't. So, but we need this. This is going to keep us alive, and this is what we need to be able to make it.
I'm sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead.
I'm curious, are your members coming to you and your staff and saying, can you help me to apply for this money?
Yeah. They need help understanding how to go about it.
Yeah,
what
most
to
people
do,
don't know where to
go,
begin.
Where to begin. So that's been I'm really proud of our organization and everything that we've done for our small business members, not just our members who are dues paying members, but also the small businesses who don't know where else to go and maybe are not a member. And hopefully maybe they'll see the benefit of being associated with an organization like ours ultimately on the other end of this if they make it. But in the short term, we're doing what we can to answer questions. Our website is full of information for people, and it's wonderful.
I'm really worried about the psychological impact. We are going to see a certain percentage of the population who own small businesses that say, not worth it for me at the level I was at before. I'm either out or I'm going to come back at a quarter of what I was.
Right.
And we're also going to see people at home that are saying, yeah, they said it's okay to go out and eat, but I think I'm going to wait another month or two before I go out and eat. And we're going to have the people who have learned things that they can do without.
Yep.
You know, I'm laughing about, cutting my own hair and ironing my own shirts. I don't need to iron my shorts.
I was just gonna say, you iron your shorts?
No, I don't need to iron my shorts. I like the wrinkles. They tickle. But what if there's somebody just like me who says, you know what? I've gotten kind of good at this. I don't need to send my shirts off anymore. I might still send my slacks to the dry cleaner, but those shirts that were clicking away at $2.45 a shirt, I can do that myself now. We're going to find out what we can do without, and that's going to have an economic impact.
I think it will. I think in the short term it will, but I think the American economy is built on convenience and
True.
Those sorts of things. And so I think that when people do feel back to normal, but I think that's why you see in our latest survey of our members, we've been surveying them every about 10 days. Just not trying to bug them, but trying to get their feedback. And it's been great because we kind of are getting this real-time, on-the-ground feedback from everybody. But the point is that they're telling us that they don't see the economy truly recovering until late 2021, 2022. I mean, that's where their kind of heads are at right now.
Well, recoveries are always turtle pace. They're slow.
And so they, and I guess, in true small business fashion, they're thinking of it that way. It's going to take a while. So if it takes a shorter amount of time, great. But that's why we were saying, we were talking at the break, that we've got to, whatever plans that the state puts forward through these task force that, we're working on and stuff, let's be sure we include a component about getting the community back engaged. Because without the community, small business owners can't survive. Look, they've survived this far. I mean, you've gotten so many great people going to takeout, retail to go, all of that kind of happening now. But it's going to need to be an even bigger concerted effort, to your point about people actually going out and doing things. And we need to get there confidence-wise.
You were actually in the room when we were talking about this, but I was talking about on my social media circle, there's two factions. There's the people who are saying, let us go back to work, let's open this thing back up. And then there's the people that are going, shame on you, stay home. Flatten that curve, make sure that curve is good and flat. Those are the people that are going to be slow to, after things do open up, they're still going to be slow to get out there and get back and start spending their money the way they used to.
And that's a personal
if they have any money left to spend.
Right, and that's a personal choice. And you're going to have those people, and that's great. But let's go ahead and get open and get the people who are comfortable going back and who are going to do these things, and let's get the testing in place and do it.
Well, we've been looking at the science of the disease, and we've been looking at the economics of the disease, and we've been looking at the political impact, state by state, of the disease. What we haven't been looking at is the psychology of this.
Yeah.
And I can remember from a very young age being told that flying in a commercial airliner that has an American flag on its tail is safer than taking a bath. That you have a 200% larger chance of getting injured or getting killed in your bathtub than you do in an airliner that is registered in the United States of America. Yet, every time there is a horrific plane crash, particularly one that cannot be explained, well, it was a terrorist. It was a rogue pilot. Aviation travel in this country plummets by 30 to 40% and stays that way for a month or two. You're going to have a big percentage of people that are going to be afraid to go out, because this is even more unsure than that. the psychology of this is going to be very difficult, particularly for small business.
Sometimes necessity facilitates courage, though.
Yeah, true.
That's a very good point. And I think to the governor's point yesterday about testing, I think that the more we get that out, the more we get that in the hands of folks to be able to test for the virus, test for the antibodies, test for all the things. If we're able to do that, look, small business owners just say, tell us the guidelines, let us get open.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
And we'll do it, and we'll work from there. But you also can't put too much. If we open up with, you can open at this capacity. If we put these arbitrary numbers on business, that then it still begs the question of them: is it worth it to do it?
Well, that's it. And we don't know if operating at 20% of capacity is a losing proposition.
Right.
For that restaurant.
It is. Yeah. I'll tell you it is.
Exactly.
It takes the cost that it's...
I'm thinking some places won't even be able to operate at 50%. If we're talking about opening up their dining room again, even 50% enforced capacity, they may not be able to make ends meet.
No.
Well, and the other part is that you have so many restaurants who have developed private party rooms, or private areas that, think of all the May graduations, all the May events, that's not happening. So that's a huge loss to this. Sometimes, that May bump for them gets them through the summer, which are always light months, especially in Baton Rouge.
Yep.
The city
Prom
clears
night
out.
dinner.
So,
Weddings.
Right.
Rehearsal dinners and things. None of these things are happening.
Right.
Yep.
So we've got to get that going again.
Yeah, there is more to come. Dawn, we'd like to invite you to come back with us as we get a little further down the road and kind of give us an update from the perspective of small business.
We'd love to.
And we do thank you. You all do a newsletter and all that on your website, right?
Yep,
Where can people find you?
NFIB.com, great, full of information. Click the coronavirus link. We've got all our back webinars, all of our frequently asked questions, all of our important links.
Dawn Starn, State Director for the National Federation of Independent Business.
Yep.
Good to have you on with us. A
Good to
brief
see you all.
break, and then we're back with more on Exiles TV. Stick around, won't you?
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
We're back. It's Exiles TV. Thank you so much for spending.
We are back.
We are back. And for better or for worse, here we are.
I love the sound system in this studio because if I need to, I can do the NPR thing. We're back. See, it feels that way, doesn't it?
We had to do an NPR show. We had to do an NPR show.
NPR show.
Speaking, we get up close and personal on the mic and speak in well-modulated tones.
Yes.
What is it with that?
I have no idea.
You know,
but it's like the old WWL. I know everybody around here can relate to WWL.
Hell yeah.
When I was first in college, they had some part-time slots open on the weekend, so I could go and do it. First thing they do is they put you in front of this giant ribbon mic, an RCA 77, and they give you some copy, and you read it, and there's an engineer who is watching your voice print on an oscilloscope. And if you went above the high mark and below the low mark, nope, we don't want you.
Nope.
Because they had that WWL sound. Yeah, that was so mellow and rich.
But then they invented something called the compressor.
Yes, the compressor.
You didn't have to do that yourself anymore because the compressor does it for you.
No matter how much you want to.
But I've noticed this, we talk about the NPR sound. You notice everybody that works, like WRKF is the NPR station here in Baton Rouge, fine radio station. But if you notice, the local people do the NPR sound.
Well, that's the processing. I mean,
it's not just well modulated. It's also it's aloof and non-emotional.
Well, you can train that in. You can train that in. Not everybody is as gregarious and fun to be around as you and I.
I just feel like if you feel something about something, you should let your people know that you feel something. And in the radio, the only way you have to do that is your voice. Thank God now I can make faces at the camera.
Speaking of feeling something, this just in. I should have let you do that part.
What? This just in? Well, you already did it, so go ahead.
Reverend Spell has not yet bounded out of jail.
So he's been in jail for at least, 4 or 5 hours now?
No,
maybe?
Probably 3.
3?
Yeah, probably 3.
But has he been in jail, or did they put him in you're somebody's office? Just stay here.
Listen, once that door slams, you're in jail. It doesn't matter where you are.
But I don't want, how can I put this? I think a little jail time might give him some perspective. So I think he ought to spend at least a day in regular lockup with everybody else.
Wearing orange?
With, the domestic abusers and the crack dealers and whoever else is in there. Yeah, give them the jumpsuit. Put them out in the yard and tell them to pick up, cigarette butts.
They're not allowed to smoke there anymore.
They're not?
No.
You're not allowed to smoke in jail?
It's unhealthy.
Wow.
And you wonder why some of them are so tense?
Maybe he should, get out there and, hit the weight bench and, maybe get a little pumped up before he goes back to, he can wear expensive short sleeve shirts and show us a little bicep.
Get a little jail tat while he's there. And say Jesus and be misspelled.
I think sometimes when you flout the law and you flout public safety and you show people, I think without a doubt that you're not really concerned for their individual safety. You're more concerned with that collection plate, to the point where he was actually on YouTube asking people, send your stimulus check to the church. It's like, that means he's more concerned with the money than he is the people and their well-being. Now, if I sound two-faced, because we've spent most of the last 2 hours talking about getting our economy back up and running, this guy didn't let his economy slow down.
Well, it's a retail business. It's retail religion.
It's tax exempt. And I think
Which is even better.
That's one of the big problems I have about it. And
so he's 8 points ahead of the rest of us.
At some point, if a church exhibits this kind of flagrant disregard for the safety of its its flock, its parishioners, or whatever you want to call them, do we start having a discussion about whether or not they qualify as a church and start talking about that tax-exempt status?
Well, I think, again, from a basis of Roman Catholicism, the 800-pound gorilla in terms of what that church takes in, and not just the church, but their universities and all this type of thing. Now, I'm not saying they don't put it to good use. They do. It has always been my belief that the government should make a deal with churches and say, you sold prayer books and record albums and things like this, downloadable CDs. You sold $4 million worth of that last year. And you took in your collection plate $6 million, $10 million. Normally your federal tax on that would be about $2.2 million. So here's what we'll do. You provide $1.1 million worth of services to a needy population that we give you the list. And whether it's people that need to be fed, or people that need health care, or need transportation, or maybe a mixture of all those, to the tune of $1.1 million, you get to skate on the other 1.1, and we'll see you next year.
Okay.
See if you've met your obligation.
Some proven community reinvestment.
Well, it would have to be directed. It can't be like the lottery. Oh, it's going to be for education. And morons,
wink, wink, nudge,
morons said, oh, schools. No, education. So they used to produce these great videos about how to play the lottery. It was educational.
Yeah. Music lessons for inmates. By the way, I received a text just moments ago that said, it was just a question. Pastor Spell's been arrested. So some people aren't right up to date on the news. So to catch you up, in case you don't know, or you weren't with us at the beginning of the program.
Who wants to know? Who wants to know?
So a friend of mine who's watching the program.
Is he like an acolyte?
An acolyte? I don't have any acolytes.
No, not a view of Spell.
No. He's not up to date on the news.
I just want to make sure who we're talking to here.
Here's what happened. Tony Spell, apparently, there have been people for the last several days that have been going out and standing on the road in front of the church and protesting, holding signs. Apparently, Reverend Spell was driving the church bus when he saw that this guy, he was pulling the church bus into the parking lot, but then he backed the church bus out of the parking lot and in the direction of this protester who was standing on the side of the road. And there's video of it. He comes to a stop only about 3 to 4 feet away from this man. Now, and he's moving at a quick rate of speed.
Oh, yeah, he was quick.
He was definitely intending to intimidate the man. I don't care what you say, just the way that bus is moving. He probably didn't intend to hit him, but he definitely intended to give him a scare that still qualifies as an assault. So he was arrested this morning and taken to jail.
Yeah, for booking.
Yep. So as far as we know, our sources are telling us he has not bonded out as yet.
Yeah, and our source said he would check in the next couple of hours. So we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it tomorrow morning on the podcast.
Later, a member of the congregation in a pickup truck did the same thing, tried to intimidate the protester.
And that was a deliberate
truck.
That was a deliberate head-on swerve. That was a lot closer.
Yeah, swerving onto the shoulder of the road in the direction, and will that person be found out and arrested? Because there's video of that with the pickup truck license number playing in the video.
One of the things that bothers me with some of these churches, and I truly believe if you want to worship a goat, that's your privilege, okay? But some of these people, and I will use Reverend Swaggart as an example, they develop a cult of personality, and they have a few in their congregations that are so willing to try to please the head of the church that they sometimes take leave of their senses. And I remember when we used to do airport emergency drills, Reverend Swaggart had a really nice airplane. He had a Gulfstream G4, and we wanted to use it in a mock disaster. And he was very kind, and he said, "You don't understand, Bill." He said, "There are a lot of people that if they watch the news footage of that mock disaster and they see it's my plane, they're gonna do things because they're gonna be so upset that I might have been hurt. He said, I can't let you use that airplane. And the problem I think with Reverend Spell and some of the people in his congregation, like that guy in the truck, that guy thought he was doing something good for the Reverend.
He's a religious zealot, I think is a way to describe it.
Yeah, he's lost all balance when it comes to this.
And see, this is the thing. You've got to maintain balance. You know, yes, there's the church, but there's also the state and the community, and you've got to keep your attitude and your behavior balanced. You know, I know it's a strong comparison to compare Tony Spell to Jim Jones, but Jim Jones had people that were willing to mix the poison with the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
More than willing to mix the poison with the Kool-Aid and hand it out because they believed in their pastor so strongly.
Well, you know, I mean, again, I grew up a Catholic when it meant something to be a Catholic. When you couldn't eat meat on Friday, you know, there's still some guy doing eternity in hell for a bologna sandwich. And they would say things like, you'll be condemned to hell if you don't go to church on Sunday. And I never really believed that. I think God's got a better sense of humor than that. But there are those who did. Until next time, watch the replay tonight.
I think we have a few minutes left. One break and then we're coming back.
Oh, that's right. We're not at the end here. I saw that big clock counting down to zeros, and Marty was doing his little happy dance.
We'll be right back.
Well, until the next time, it's like in 2 minutes. How does that grab you?
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
And thank you for being with us here on Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher. Attorney Franz Borghardt just shared a photo of congregants from Reverend Spell's church waiting outside the parish prison. They put up a nice little pop-up tent for them to stay under so they don't get sunburned.
Well, that was nice of them. I was going to say the walls of the prison must be like the Wailing Wall right now. Because I guarantee you these people think that their pastor's being persecuted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's being persecuted. He's being prosecuted for a display of pique. You know, it angered him that a man was standing out in front of his church holding a sign saying that it's a coronavirus breeding ground, and if you go in there, you could be infected and you could possibly die. That was the basically what was on the man's sign. If you watch the video, and you can see it at wafb.com, you can, I mean, it's not hard to see what happened. I mean, he's backing that bus up at a very high rate of speed towards that man who's standing on the shoulder of the road. He comes to a stop 3 to 4 feet away from the man. Obviously, I don't think he intended to hit him. I'm going to give the Reverend that benefit of that doubt. I don't think he intended to hit him, but I think he intended to scare the hell out of him and maybe scare him away. And that speaks to a temper.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, the guy should know that people are angry with him.
Have you ever felt compelled by your inner voice or your brain to follow any human being so mindlessly and so completely?
Never.
Me either.
I've also never been felt compelled by my human brain, no matter how angry I was, to use my car as a weapon of intimidation.
There's still time. You're young yet.
Well, give me a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if the supermarket parking lot gets any crazier, that's a whole nother show.
But I just... I have had someone that has good sensibility, and I've said I feel sorry for those people because they're just lapping this up with a spoon because they think they're going to get a better place in heaven. And that person said to me, if it makes them feel closer to God, is that necessarily bad? And you know what? I think if they were logical, reasonable people who weren't scared to death of the Almighty, I guess that it's okay if it makes them feel better. But see, I don't get
if
this.
If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad? Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, if these people, if it makes them feel closer to God. But my problem is, this guy is coming damn close to substituting himself for God. And that's what bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think... I'm sorry, I've just never found a reason to be terrified of the Almighty.
Well, and you said something a moment ago, better place in heaven. I always thought that heaven was a pass or fail type situation.
It is. It's
and when you get in, everybody, you know, there's no better place in heaven. We all have an equal place in heaven if we make it.
But the Reverend spell aside, we have noticed over the years, you know, these people that, you know, put the Jesus fish on their car.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, these people that buy these billboards and all that. And these are the folks who believe that heaven is like Ruth's Chris on a Friday night when it isn't Lent. And they think that that billboard or that Jesus fish on their car, you know, or them waving the most vociferously, you know, at their service, is going to allow them through the velvet rope to St. Peter and say, oh yes, Mr. Gallagher, table 31, we've got it ready for you. It doesn't work that way.
It's deeds. It's not words. It's deeds. It's what you do. It's not. It's like Batman said. It's not who I am underneath. It's what I do that defines me.
And again, we can all be very thankful that I'm not the Almighty. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. Most of us would already be in hell if Bill was the Almighty.
I'd be very offended by some of these cheesy billboards that people put up, invoking my name. You know, just like I think with Swaggart. I think one of the reasons that he got in so much trouble with his own people was the guy had $1 gazillion. He could have gotten a better hooker.
Yeah, I follow you on that one.
You've been taken from me all this time and you're a cheap so-and-so?
Well, it also just kind of speaks to, you know, wow, dude, you're messed up. You're just messed up.
Yeah. But I mean, I hope the legal process works well and fairly and quickly, okay? But I get an overwhelming feeling of sadness for those that are jumping around like their nads are on fire with this guy at the helm.
All I got to say about it is, yes, you do have the right to go to church services if you feel that you absolutely have to go to church services. But Jesus preached under an olive tree. You can worship God and love the Lord anywhere. You can go out in your backyard. You can kneel down next to your bed. You can love the Lord from anywhere. I'm not saying churches are bad. I'm not saying don't go. I'm saying put that on the back burner for now. Churches are tax-free. They'll survive this thing. Very few of them have rent. Most of them own the property outright.
And this week, if you were preaching from Olive Garden, you have the buy one, take one free. So it's an even better deal.
And praise Jesus, endless breadsticks.
All right, now we're going to hell.
We're definitely going to hell.
Now we are going to hell. I want to remind everybody, the Morning Exiles podcast tomorrow morning on
Who do we have tomorrow, Bill?
We have attorney at law, Franz Borghardt.
Wow, I love Franz.
But he can't wear that tie he posted this morning.
Supreme Court has rendered a verdict in non-unanimous jury trials.
We're going to have a whole lot of new trials in Louisiana.
Yep. You know, in Louisiana, you can get convicted with 10 in some cases.
Not anymore. But join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., The Morning Exiles page on Facebook. And, of course, we'll be back here on Thursday at 10 a.m. Thanks so much for being with us. Be careful. Be safe. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.